What's going on, my creative collective? Happy new month. Welcome to September. What's that song? September. Oh. September. Oh, the name of the band is escaping me. The 21st of September. Oh. The cards are like, don't sing. Don't do that. Anyway. Now that I've made it awkward, how's that for a hook into the video, right? 33 seconds. Anyway, let's do this. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives with love? Oh, that first sentence, miracles never run out. You better freaking believe it. You better believe it, my friends. You are divine beauty. Why, thank you, cards. Okay. Do you want to clear the deck? Oh, thank you. She's so cute. Oh my gosh. I love this little bean. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please? So, call to adventure is the Knight of Swords. But it's almost coming across in reverse. Like, it came out in reverse, and then I was like, well, I almost feel like the call to adventure is taking action that you know you're not taking. And yeah. So I feel like it's like what I'm getting here intuitively is that it's like you're going to have to take really quick action. You're going to have to take really quick action on something because it's like there's been a delay in what you haven't been taking action. I'm hearing the tank is full. Maybe your tank is full or needed to be full. Queen of Pentacles. The tank is full. The tank is full. So I feel like if you're doubting yourself, you've got what you need for the journey. So it's not a question of resource. It's a question of you doing the thing, which is really specific, I know. Ten of Cups. That's been coming out a lot. I almost said A. That's been coming out a lot, eh? So I feel like the tank is full, and this is like kind of the journey. The call to adventure is like, are you taking steps towards the happiness that you want? Like, what does that look like for you? Like, is the Ten of Cups for you? I mean, it tends to mean like family, harmony, wishes coming true in that regard, like emotional fulfillment that just like, it's like your heart sings. Your heart sings. The only thing that's missing is you. What's the Tower here, Spirit? This daily creative message. The thing that could become a tower if it goes unchecked is, I think, kind of being out of balance. The Judgment to me represents like how the decisions you make based on what resources you have and the things you don't know. And it's like, how are you balancing those two polarities in your consciousness, in your awareness? How you balance those polarities is kind of how you get back into, not balance, but I feel like you sort of right side and right size your awareness of the world around you and things happening in it. The Chariot, Three of Wands. Yeah, I feel like the thing that, like, the reason why it's like, let me just make a couple syllables at you instead of sentences, okay? That feels really good. The protagonist energy here is forward movement. This is not just movement in terms of like you doing the thing. This is movement. I'm just going to move the camera down in case she decides to give herself a little bath. But this is movement, but it's like movement with spirit. It's not just you doing something on your own, getting from point A to point B. This is about a bigger thing happening in the heart space. And the Three of Wands to me represents an energy of not just positive expectation, because that seems like an oversimplification here, especially when it shows up in the antagonist position. But I feel like maybe what was stopping you from taking action on something or doing something was this feeling like you didn't have, and it's not an absence of the answers. It's like you were just in a headspace that couldn't see things, right? Now, I don't know if this will help anybody, but something I've started to do is I've started to spend my drives, instead of listening to music, I'm listening to the Hay House Empower You app or whatever. It's not, I pay for it. It's not something it's not sponsored. Though that would be really cool. So that would be fun. But for the next 30 days, that's what I'm going to spend most of my time listening to. I still watch like Tarot Tube and stuff, but cutting back on that too, just so that I can anchor into what I need to do. But also, like, what happens after 30 days of doing that, right? And I've done tests and tweaks like that before, but what happens when you spend 30 days filling your brain and, the space between your ears with encouragement and enlightenment and, things that move you towards where you need to be. And that it's sort of like, kindling, right? Like you're finding kindling for your inner fire. And that's kind of what this is. And that's why it's coming up here in this antagonist position, the Three of Wands, because it's like you can only expect so much positivity, right? You can only expect so much. Like, you really can only expect so much, because then you have to do. And I think you're in a doing place, but it's doing from the heart. And that makes all the difference in the world, right? So then this Eight of Cups is like the challenge position here. The challenge is knowing what is no longer fulfilling. And then this is maybe what needs to be taken action upon, or it's something that needs to be done. Because the Hanged Man I feel like it's coming out of this Hanged Man position, right? It's coming out of this position and movement, because the protagonist and the energy in the call to adventure is, movement towards. So you're moving towards. So pull yourself out of this Hanged Man. You have enough information. If you know what makes you happy, and if you have the desire to get there, you're showing up in this Queen of Pentacles energy. So I feel like the tank is very full. The tank is full, my friends. So there's like no High Priestess energy here as yet, but I feel like there's this knowing from like what's most important to you. So go for it. And I think the thing that you're learning, it's almost like this is like a reflection, like you knew you had what you needed the whole time, but the three cups that were empty seemed like it's almost this Three of Wands too, right? Like this energy of what's in the distance always seems so much more compelling because we don't know it as thoroughly. But what happens when, instead of looking at the thing that we don't know as thoroughly and finding that compelling and exciting, take a look at what's in this cup? Because in the end, this is an Ace of Cups, which is like one of many more to come. But then it's like you see it not as like three or four. You see it as each one an ace unto themselves, and you go deeper into that ace. So that's where it's like this sort of calling into, and the stars on the bottom. It's like this calling into yourself, all of this energy that was kind of stuck, like you were like blah, blah, like you were, like I think about it in terms of calisthenics and like HIIT workouts, like high intensity cardio and all of that stuff. Like when I'm running sometimes, I haven't been running as much lately just because my blood pressure is going back down. Yay. So good. But when I would run, there would be times where I would have to dodge, like, people will bring their pets to the track and all of that stuff, which is fine. Doggo's got to run too, right? So they would bring their pets there, so I would be running, and sometimes I'd have to dodge them, and you could feel like those, like the muscle fibers tightening, right? Like that's what I feel like. It was like you were ready to go, like ready, but it was just like always like this uncertainty, and it could be like feeling like you were dodging something or whatever, but it's like you just have this clear path forward, and I feel like you just have to give yourself the gift of taking it, because that's not just the way that it's going to give you more hope. I think that's also going to reintegrate your energy and connect you to something bigger than yourself. It's going to connect you to something bigger than yourself. Be that a family, be that, be that like part of your life path with this Judgment card. But I'm just getting that there's this beautiful sense of, it's not even recognition. It's just like, oh yeah. Like, it's like there's this like remembering part of you. I don't know. I've been kind of going through this, like, I don't know. It's almost like it's like the poetics of reintroducing yourself to your power. The poetics of that is what I'm seeing here. King of Cups, yeah. I feel like your cups are accounted for, your pentacles are accounted for, your joy is right there. Go. Like this today's message is just go for it. Nine of Pentacles, yeah. And sorry, Eight of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, so it's not even a bad thing. It's just sometimes my dyscalculia registers things in such funny ways. I was like, oh yeah, the spider's a pentacle. No. So this Eight of Pentacles is showing up as like, there's two eights here. So that is also indicative of change, but I think it also has to do with abundance as well. So do look that up. It's like there's so much work that you've done that it's just like you don't really have to do that much more work. Like it's like the Hanged Man can be such a beautiful position to put yourself into to get the bigger picture, right? But it can also become a way that we stagnate and we don't allow ourselves to walk towards our happy endings or what fulfills us because we feel like we just need more information. And especially because it's clarifying this row here of the call to adventure being this Knight of Swords in terms of the way that it was like those muscle fibers tightened, right? Like it's kind of like you've put in the work. Like don't doubt that part. You know, like you can only master the craft of analyzing things for so long before it becomes procrastination, right? Which that's, yeah. I got that word. I think it was from a high school, like a history teacher in high school. And I have honestly, like, it's stuck with me ever since. I'm like, bah, procrastinating. You screw yourself with procrastination. That's really what it is. So you're welcome for the inappropriate comment. You can take that and run with it however you want. So the Queen of Pentacles, the Temperance card, and Judgment. Spirit, can you please clarify this energy in terms of moving forward, how we can best invest our energy this September 1st? It's just my favorite season. Oh my gosh. I feel like my energy comes back in September, October. I'm like, it like returns. So I'm kind of excited. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives? Three of Wands. You know, I feel like what's really interesting is that this was a productive time. It's showing up in the antagonist, but I think when you expect positive outcomes, if you're detached, so this was about reconnecting to that positive outcome. But during that time, you've connected to all of the things that you don't want. So you did this clarifying. So this is like a sharpening of things. It's almost like this portal that you're able to see through that has exactly what it is that you want because you've spent time in a place of, okay, that's not what I want. You've been like tweaking and refining, but just don't get stuck in the refining process, right? Like there's only so much refining that you can do before there's like, you're good, right? Then you have to do. The 10 of Cups and the Chariot. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please? 10 of Cups and Chariot. Forward movement. It's forward movement, but I feel like it's almost like what I'm getting is this chariot. It's like old school, but like as if there was like a sound system inside that was playing this and allowing you, like that's what was emanating from the chariot. You're like, yeah, I'm going, and like that, and it's like, yeah, it's like that's sort of the music that's making this movement towards possible. Four of Cups again. I think it's kind of don't be willfully, I feel like obstinate is willful, like it to an extent, but it's like don't willfully ignore what this song is. Don't willfully ignore it. Like, do you want family? Do you want, like, what does that mean? Like, I think family, and just reflecting on my own, my own journey, and like, what does family mean, and how do I want that to look for me? But like, don't willfully ignore it, because I feel like that's kind of what the Four of Cups is, right? Like, it's like your cups are sight unseen because they're under the moon, but you're also covering them up. So it's like when people walk into a room with their sunglasses on their head and they're like, where the hell are my sunglasses? They're on your head, right? But it's like remembering that. Yeah. Okay, so we have the Six of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the King of Wands. I think I feel like there's success here, which is fairly obvious in the Six of Wands, right? But the way that it's showing up is like when you overcome yourself. It's like overcoming you. Like there's the big obstacles. It's not that there are obstacles that can't be overcome. It's not that there are obstacles that can't be worked through or teased out. It's that there's obstacles that you... It's like the tree that you're looking at is bearing more fruit than you think. But if you're looking at a cherry tree hoping for pears because you don't know what you want, it's going to look like there's nothing there, right? So it's like not just planning for success, but remembering this time, this Three of Wands in reverse time, as a way of articulating what it is that you truly want, articulating what it is that makes you the happiest, articulating what gas are you putting in the tank? What gas are you putting in the tank? And I think that puts you in this King of Wands expert manifester, but also I think not just expert manifester, but I think it's also like, it's like you're painting the sky. You're painting the sky with stars. And the stars are things that you wished for, or experiences that you wanted, but it's like you're seeing something about yourself as not just an architect to build, but an artist that plucks stars from nothing and creates this really beautiful canvas or music. Like it's like you're restringing this guitar. You know how to play. You know how to play it. But it's like you're restringing it. And I'll tell you, there's nothing as beautiful sounding as a guitar. You know, you just have to make sure the action on it, which is the bottom, like the neck of it doesn't bend or bow with heat and humidity and things. And there's a place to fix that. But it's like there are few things that sound as wonderful as a freshly tuned and fixed up guitar. Even ones that are like 60 years old, arguably those sound the best, like it just, and it's something like that. Like this could be something to do with past lives, with the way it's coming across. The Judgment card is here, so it could be, but more than that, I mean, that's how it's coming across, at least, where it's like this song of lifetimes. This song of lifetimes. And soulmates can be that can be, a lot of the time we think like, twin flame is like the be all end all, but it's also like it's relationships. That's a soulmate relationship too. So it's just, it could be even friendship. It could be, the ways that you're reconnecting to family or chosen family, that kind of thing. The reason why the strings are coming across is like, it's like the string, it's like it's like connecting to this bigger song here. It's connecting to this bigger song. Can you give me some information on this Three of Wands spirit for my daily creatives, please? Whoa, that was really, really interesting. Knight of Swords and Two of Cups. Three of Wands. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please? On this Three of Wands, this correction, like it's almost like putting your best foot forward. the way I think about it, and putting your best foot forward means you don't have to have it all figured out. We're going to show up in different stages of our lives in different messes, but every day, what are you doing to pull yourself out of that and into something else? What are you doing to put yourself in a position to be successful? Right? And it's really asking yourself that question, not just in relationship, because relationships are kind of a byproduct of the way you are in other areas. And, sometimes you have these like stagnation periods or whatever. Like I've said to my friend more than once, like, I'm pissing myself off today. Like and it's not about hating yourself or where you are. It's about feeling that and going, ooh, I don't want to feel this way. And I know it's not productive or helpful to my path forward. So how do I rearrange this? How do I look at this differently? And, asking spirit for help, big deal. I think that was somewhere this week too, like asking spirit for help. Could have been last week, but Temperance and the Knight of Wands. Yeah. It's almost like I'm hearing patience and persistence is the balance. Patience and persistence is the balance that you needed. Because the Queen of Swords, that's the clarity. Like there's clarity in that for you. And I think it helps you to kind of pick up the pace. Like you have the Knight of Wands here, the Son of Wands, and then you also have the Knight of Swords. So these are two fast moving energies. So it's almost like this patience and persistence with yourself, right? With yourself and not giving up, because it's like that 3 feet from gold. I think it's a Napoleon Hill quote, if not a book altogether. But it's like, you're 3 feet from gold, so don't give up, right? When you give up on something, what does that mean to everybody? It's different, right? Whatever giving up means to you. Sometimes we give up on ourselves, we give up on our dreams, and we confuse closing something out or off, right? Like putting a bookmark or like a bookend, like that's the punctuating that sentence, right? I've been thinking about that with the Finding Hearts project that I have, right? Like even though like people still send me hearts, I have that tattoo here for that purpose. People still send me hearts that they find. And at one point in my life, it really connected me to something bigger, because when things felt the most hopeless, the hearts would start to show up everywhere. And that would connect me to my, to my bigger sense of self. And even to this day, it's so important. But it's also just like that has, kind of run its course and moving into something else that is more reflective of where I am. So it's those kinds of things, right? So it's giving up. It doesn't mean it's not the same as putting a period at the end of that sentence and letting that sentence be where it was for what it was, right? That's a small example, but whatever that, people, sometimes we feel like people have given up on us too, right? Like I was telling my friend, like, thank you for loving me, even though I'm a cranky asshole sometimes, and lovingly, like I know this about myself, I can laugh at it because it is what it is, but it's like, people, we feel like we're given up on, but we forget that we give up on ourselves. And then that's why we look to other people to not give up on us, right? That's why we look to other people in that relationship, because in that way, like in that relation, because then we're asking them to do something for us that we should be doing for ourselves, right? And that just can really drain energy. It can be something that that takes so much, I don't know, just our fire away. It takes our fire away because we're constantly looking outside of us going like, oh, but please, can you just tell me that I'm beautiful and feed me cookies? Like it's that energy. Although like there's specific times where that is very much appropriate and you do not question that. But it's like, anyways. But overall, I think this is about reconnecting to your sense of imagination in life, in love, and in work. Because you're painting the sky. I'm going to write that down because it's coming up. Painting the sky. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please? Just to close out this September 1st reading. Dwell on what you love. Yep. That's that energy here, right from the beginning. Dwell on what you love. It's that is the star, isn't it? Like, that is the star. Because you can't see the love, you can't see the good unless you're dwelling on it outside of the moments where you recognize it. Like it's almost like it trains your vibration. You've got time. Patience, persistence, and patience. You've got time. I'm hearing a Maya Angelou poem, so she's my absolute favorite poet, and that's I have to get it redone a little bit, but that's why I have "Still I Rise" here, and it's in the shape of a heartbeat-ish because of the time my heart stopped in 2016. I'm fine now though, yay! But the line that was coming through from one of her poems was the part in "Still I Rise," where it talks about having oil wells between my thighs, like that kind of like, you've got time, like you've got this rich abundance of it. You have this like, it's like thick abundance around you, right? And I don't know, that's just what came through. Sometimes I wonder what Maya Angelou would say or think or write about just the pandemic and the times that we're in. I know that she, still a contemporary writer, but I feel like her perspective and take on things is something that my heart does miss a lot. So nonetheless, I can find peace in every breath. I think it's about reconnecting, right? Reconnecting to the brush. I feel like your breath is the brush. That's what's coming through. Your breath is this brush that's helping you to paint the sky, the canvas. Okay. I trust that my gut reaction is the truth underneath the surface of my fears. Yeah. And sometimes like we feel like our gut reaction takes us way off course, so we don't trust it as much, but I feel like it never leads you astray. And even if like I had this experience a while back where I was like, sometimes things feel so off about people and you're like, what is that? They're like, what is that? And it's not a testament to them. Sometimes it's about your energy and the things you need to work on. And like working with the public like I do outside of this channel, and other projects that I've taken on, it's like it's not about reading people for what you can gain. It's about feeling where they are. And it's like, sometimes you really do have to ground that so that you can remember that you have the brush and that you're not just reacting and responding, right? So I know, like, after my awakening, I guess, like, I'm like, I was awake before. Not quite like this. And, that kind of cracking wide open in 2020, towards the end of 2020, the world feels so much louder. It feels so much louder. And like, having sensory input stuff with being on the far end of the autism spectrum, just with synesthesia and things like that, it's like, it was already loud to begin with, but it's just in a different way. So I think it's like remembering how to ground yourself, and dwelling on what you love is a way of grounding. Like that is a way of anchoring your experience. Yeah. Okay. So you are divine beauty. Dear you, the simple yet powerful law of cause and effect means everything is in relationship. Every action on earth has a consequence, and even in the spirit world, there is a consequence for every action taken on your behalf. Right now, you're facing conditions that were set in motion by past decisions. Consequences are coming into being in your favor, right? We think about consequences in the negative, but think about that. Consequences in your favor. Judgment card. They will remind you that making good choices and listening to your intuition pay off. If some things are a little off and uncertain, know that whatever you're facing, you can step beyond it just by using your imagination and acting on that instead of reacting to what is being presented. Everything you think and do has far-reaching reverberations in the web of life. Move to higher ground and have faith that what goes around comes around. The universe is always self-correcting anyway. Isn't that amazing? How we adore you. I love that. So, you are adored, my friends. You are adored. I should enunciate better, not adore. You're all adored. I mean, you are. You're a portal to your own awakening, opening, light, inspiration. But you're also adored. Anyway, I'm having too much fun here. So, on that note, if this resonated, give it a like and subscribe. That is your message for today, September 1st. If you are part of my subscriber base, thank you so much for being here and for watching. I really appreciate you. So, thank you for that. And from here, if there's, you can check out other videos on the channel, but if this is where we part, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, that it finds you very, very well, my friends. Take care.